Hey guys, good morning, good morning, good morning. Yeah, and that's showing my face being lazy. yeah, trying to remember. Article radio, if you look at this, you girl, you on another level. you made me go back to study my big plan parts. Okay, for real, my numbers. That's a good thing. I like new things. I like a challenge. But you're doing your thing. But anyway, yeah, y'all check out. Child, please blow your mind if you. But anyway, every once in a while, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? It's your girl Root. Every once in a while, they have me going on what happened on this day. So this is April 3rd, right? And I found some things that happened on this day, right? And let me pull it up. A couple of things, a lot of things happened on this day. We got in 1043, Edward the Confessor crowned King of England. Okay. Then we have the Battle of Naverdee in 1367. Let's see, yeah. Battle of Naverdee, Nava. I'm gonna put that down because I'm gonna look that up. Look like Navajo, but I'm not sure. I'm not gonna say. Battle of Navarrete La Roja, La Roja. Okay, then it says Castle, Alliance of King Peter of Castle and the English defeats Court Henry of Castle. Okay, the Battle of Navy fought classes. It says the Battle of Navarrete, Navarrete, fought near Najera with John of Gaunt, the Black Prince. Interesting. Let's see what that is, y'all. John of Gaunt, not the Black Prince. And Pedro the Cruel, allied to the left of the image against Henry II of Castle and the French. Okay. And it says in 1559, Spain and France signed Second Treaty of Cambris. 1882, France of Valois, Duke of Anjou, honored as Duke of Gury. Okay, I'm gonna go with the 1645, English Long Paramount passes the self-denying ordinance. Self-denying ordinance. Limiting regional armies. Sufficient step toward new model army. Oh, excuse me. Oh, put me up. And we got in 1657, English Lord Protector Olive Cromwell refuses crown. Wow. Why did he refuse the crown in England? Why did he refuse the crown? Yeah. Oliver Cromwell. I heard that name before. Okay, then we got English military and political leader. Oh, that's who he was. Meeting of interest. 1679, Edmund Holland meets Johannes. Okay, I'm not going. Astronomer, mathematician, and physics. Oh, okay, I'm gonna have to put him down. Edmund Halley. He was an astronomer, mathematician, and physicist. Edmund, okay. In historic event, 1721, Robert Walpole becomes Britain's first Lord of Treasure, effective Prime Minister, although that term was never officially used. Indeed, it was considered an insult until much later. He didn't want the role. First British Prime Minister. So he was supposed to be the Lord of Treasure. Okay. I don't know. Writing down. First British Prime Minister. Lord of Treasure. Treasury. Considered an insult. Okay. 1764, Australian Archduke Joseph crowned himself Holy Roman Empire. Okay. Austrian Archduke Joseph crowned Holy Roman Empire. Let's see, the second. History event 1776. George Washington receives honorary LID degree from Harvard College. Okay, so we got George Washington. Okay, 1776 on this day receives honor. They said that John, the black president that was here, allowed George Washington become king when he was brought over here by the Spaniards, and the Spaniards were orders from the Moors, the black Moors, to come over here to America. They cleaned the white ones that were in caves up to come over here and dominate the natives, the sophisticated people who were over here. And Wickashaw, it's in I think that's how you say it. Indians in Louisiana, which were what is Jacob brother name? Shoot. Esau's children was in cahoots with the Moors, and they showed George Washington the people that came here, the Spaniards, and educated them on Jacob's people to dominate and control. So I'm thinking, matter of fact, I need to look that up. How sophisticated was Esau people? Because if I'm thinking that Jacob people stayed native and respected Mother Nature, I might be wrong. and Esau's people did not. And because, there was always trading back and forth with the other side of the world before any of this came, George Washington, anything, very sophisticated over here. And some kind of way of jealousy sparked, and they decided to dominate. And Esau's children, which you remember Esau and Jacob made up, but their children did not. And that's where you get the feuding and the cartoons and everything about the one wild hillbilly going against another hillbilly, and they're fighting, and then the children liking each other, and they making sure that they didn't marry. That's another Romeo and Juliet type deal, and they didn't want them to be together. And yeah, so we're saying receives honor. Let me see. Receives honorary LID degree from Harvard. Now, see, Harvard College, I believe, was a black college. Now, I'm not going to go any further on that. But anyway, 1783, Sweden and the U.S. signed a treaty of amity and commerce. Okay. In 1834, the generals in the Greek War of Independence stand trial for treason. Okay. 1834. Generals in Greek War of Independence stand trials for treason. Then you got 1848, Thomas Douglas becomes first public teacher in San Francisco. Really? That they put in history. Okay, now a whole lot of America's history, as we know, has been taken away and said that it was on the walls and they was unsophisticated and they got drawings and pictures, but they were actually very sophisticated. They had writings and everything, books, everything you could think of, but they don't want you to know that. Okay, 1848, Thomas Douglas. So the school in the black neighborhood that I know of was named Douglas. So this must be from him, first public teacher in San Francisco. Okay. Let's see. Historical expedition. 1848, German explorer Ludwig Lascherhardt, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong, is seen for the last time at McAfee's Station, Kugul, before he disappears on the same expedition to reach the Swanee River in Australia. Remember I told you we did that on the Swanee River. I mean the Swanee people, how they sodomized them. I think that was in New York, that island. They massacred them and took over the land, and horrible things. I got a video on that. Horrible things they did. So he disappeared. Ain't that something? 1856, Palace of the Grand Master of the Knights of Rhodas, badly damaged by a gunpowder explosion, kills 4,000 on island of Rhodes. Pony Express, 1860. Pony Express began between St. Joseph, Missouri, and Sacramento. Okay, that's interesting. But that was the mail, right? Pony Express. What he used to say, Paul Revere, whatever his name. I think it's Paul Revere, whatever his name. I think it was. I forgot what he said when he rode on the horse. Oh, the British is here. But I think this was when mail started. I think this is the Pony Express. San Francisco Pony Express to New York cover. Yeah. 1864. I can't pronounce that. The 1865 Battle of Amazon Church, Virginia. 1865 Union forces occupy Confederate capital of Richmond and Petersburg, Virginia. 1868 a Hawaiian surfs on highest wave ever, a 50-foot tidal wave. Wow. 1868 Hawaii. Tidal wave. 50-foot. 1882 wood block alarm invented. When the alarm rang, it dropped 20 wood blocks. Interesting. Historic event 1882 American outlaw Jesse James is killed by Robert Ford at home in St. Joseph. Okay. 1889 Savings Bank of Order of True Reformers opens in Richmond, Virginia. Okay. 1893 First NSW versus Queensland FC game at the Brisbane Expedition Ground. You know, they like games. Better see what that's about. First NSW, the Queensland FC game at BRISBANE Exhibition Ground. 1908 Frank Gotch wins World Heavyweight Wrestling Championship in 2 hours. 1910 highest mountain in North America, Alaska's Mount McKinney, claimed to have been first climbed by 4 local men. 1911 Harry St. James Smith's Mrs. Bumstead Lay premieres in New York City. History event 1913 British suffragette Emmeline Pankhurst sentenced to 3 years in prison. Wow. Let me see what her name. Why she was in 1913. Emmeline Pankhurst. Okay. 1910 Vladimir Lenin arrives in Petrograd from Switzerland. NS equals April 16th. Marxist revolutionary and Soviet leader. 1917 Alfred Stieglitz opens first one-person show of Georgia O'Keeffe's work at 291 Art Gallery in New York. 1918 U.S. House of Representatives accepts American Creed written by William Tyler. 1919 Austria expels all Habsburgers. Department of Interest. 1922, Joseph Stalin is appointed General Secretary of the Russian Communist Party by an ally. We just talked about Vandermoor Lenin is appointed general, so he appointed, okay. History event, 1924, Istanbul's Ottoman Topkapi Palace is converted into a museum on orders of, it's a Soviet name, or Turkey name. 1925, Great Britain goes back to gold standard. Hmm. 1925, Netherlands and Belgium signed Accord of Wester Shield. Historic event, 1926, second flight of a liquid fluid rocket. By Robert Goddard. 1926, Italian established Corps of Force in order to break powerful unions. 1927, interstate common transfers Ohio to Eastern Time Zone. 1926, Persia agrees to Libido Pact. 1929, RMS Queen Mary is ordered from John Brown and Company, shipbuilding and engineering by Cuden Line. Okay, let's see. I want to do something else too. Let's see what else I found. I found what happened in April 3rd in history. On this day in 1948, U.S. President Harry S. Truman signed into law George C. Marshall's post-World War II plan to revive the economies of Western and Southern European countries so as to foster democracy in the region. Let's see. Truman with his little slick behind. On this day, 1940, U.S. President Harry S. Truman signed into law George C. Marshall's post-World War II plan to retrieve the economies of Western and Southern Europe countries as fostering democracy in the region. Okay, I read that. Okay. American engineer, FAZLUR.KHAN, American engineer, born April 3rd, 1929. Decoa Indian, born on this day, DHAKA India, died March 27, 1982, age 52. JEDAH, Saudi Arabia. Okay, Eddie Murphy, born 1961 on this day, American actor and comedian. 1958, Alex Baldwin, American actor. 1934, Jane Goodall, British ethologist. 1925, Tony Benn, British politician. 1924, Marlon Brando, American actor. Okay. Private papers from a Panama law firm were made public and revealed how wealthy clients concealed their wealth and avoided paying taxes. The Panama Papers represented one of the biggest leaks of confidential data. In 2016, federal agents of Montana apprehended Ted Zakozinski, an American terrorist known as the Unabomber, who had killed 3 persons and injured more than 20 with explosives sent through the U.S. postal system. I remember that. Probably program made the man do it to threaten him, whatever the deal was. Okay. Um, 1973, the first handheld mobile phone call was made by an employee of Motorola who called AT&T's Bell Laboratories. Okay. 1968, and at an event for the Memphis Sanctuary sanitation workers strike, American civil rights activist Martin Luther King Jr. delivered his mountaintop speech. The following day, he was assassinated. Okay, wow. So he went to Memphis, speak, and then they killed him the next day. I wonder, was he warned not to go? 1961, American comedian and actor Eddie Murphy was born, Brooklyn, New York. 1946, the Japanese Army General Hama Masaharu was executed for forcing the Bandana Death March. Wow. So seeing these, did y'all notice in the activists what happens? Helmut Kohl, Kohl, who served as Chancellor of West Germany, 1982 to 90, and of reunified Germany, 1990-98, was born in Luxemhofen, Germany. 1924, American stage and motion picture actor Marlon Brando was born in Omaha, Nebraska. Oh, he's born in Nebraska. I love Nebraska. Wow. Beautiful over there. Oh, my girl. 1922, American singer, actress Doris Day, whose performance in musicals of the 1950s and sex comedies of the early 1960s made her leading Hollywood star, was born in Cincinnati, Ohio. Okay, let me I gotta put post in. I love Doris Day. I love Eddie Murphy, Marlon Brando. Marlon Brando was no nonsense. He said what he had to say. He knew the truth. He didn't care who didn't like it. He spoke on so many things. Still here today. They played a video with uh he would play with Michael Jackson in one of his videos, and with Chris Tucker. Okay. 1922, Joseph Stalin became a Secretary General of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union, a position that provided the power base for his dictatorship. 1882, while adjusting a picture on the wall of his home at St. Joseph, Missouri, American outlaw Jesse James was shot and killed by Robert Ford. Sofia, liberated from the Ottoman Empire by Russian troops, was named the capital of Bulgaria. That name keeps coming up. They even got the AI computer. The first one was named Sophia. And then I researched more. I was going to do something on that because Sophia Loren, they named something after her. Um, See, that's why I say I don't know what the cause of all these wars, but I think they're looking for something. Okay, got the Pony Express. Okay, let me go to what else I found. On April 3rd, a special day. Um, Geologist Day. Okay, 2022. First Sunday in April. Good Deeds Day. Okay. National Chocolate Mousse Day. And National Film Score Day. Let's see. It says American Circus Day, Armenian Appreciation Day, Don't Go to Work Unless It's Fun Day, Fan Dance Day, Find a Rainbow Day, Fish Fingers and Custody Day, Geological Day, Good Deeds Day, National Chocolate Film, okay. Pony Express Day, Tweed Day, Weed Out Hate, Sow the Seeds of Greatness Day. Wow, like that. World Party Day. Hmm. Um, okay, this American Crossword Puzzle Week. APAWS International Pooper Scooper Week. Hmm. Yeah, get up your dog poop. Bat Appreciation Week. Be Kind to Spiders Week. Wow. Consider Christianity Week. Golden Rule Week. International Poop Scooper Week. Okay, with it. International Trombone Week. Laugh at Work Week. Lent begins on Ash Wednesday. Make Mine Chocolate. Medication Safety Week. More Week. Nano Days. National Blue Ribbon Week. National Green Week. National Library Week. National Medic Alert Week. National Public Health Week. National Raw Feeding Week. National Robotics Week. National Window Safety Week. Orthodox Lent. Passion Week. Passion Tide. Remainder evening of April 22nd. Testicle Larry Cancer Awareness Week of the Young Child. Hmm. Interesting. Oh, something else I found too. Um, let's see. Okay. Alrighty then. Let's see. Diamonds. Okay, I found something else called the Battle of Bandies. Okay, I think I put that on my page. Also happened on this day. Okay, it says Dutch conquest of Banda Islands. The Dutch conquest of Banda Islands was a process of military conquest from 1609 to 1921 by the Dutch Eastern Indian Company of Banda Island. Let's see what this is. Officially, the Dutch East Indian Company, officially the United East Indian Company, VOC, was a multinational corporation founded by a government directed consolidation, excuse me, yeah. Founded by a government directed by the government. Wait a minute, read that again. Was a multinational corporation founded by a government directed by consolidation of several rival Dutch trade companies. VOC in the early 17th century, it is believed to be the largest company to ever have existed in record history. It was established on March 20th, 1602, as a chartered company to trade with trade with the Mughal Indians, India. Okay, this is Dutch. Okay. Who are the Indians? Mohor Empire. The Mohor Empire, also spelled the Mughal, Mogul, or Mughal Empire, was early modern Islamic empire in South Asia. Of course, we know they the real Moguls, right? In South Asia. For some 2 centuries, the empire stretched from the outer fringes of Indus Basin in the west, in the west. So would that be America? And we west? Am I mistaken? In America west? Northern Afghanistan in the northwest, and Kashmir in the north, Bangladesh in the east, and the uplands of the Deccan Plateau in the South India. The empire is conveniently said to have been founded in 1526 by Bajor, a warrior chieftain from what is today Uzbekistan, who employed military aid in the form of matchlock guns and cast cannon from the Ottoman Empire, and had superior strategy and cavalry to defeat the Sultan of Dlhi, the first battle of Panpat, to swipe down the plains of Upper India, subduing Rajputs and Afghans. The Mughal Empire structure, however, is sometimes dated to 1600, to the rule of Babur, grandson Akbar. I remember that name, Akbar. This imperial structure lasted until 1720, until shortly after the death of the last major Emperor Aurangzeb, during whose reign the empire also achieved its maximum geographical extent. The empire lost significant territory to the conquest of the Mar- Maratha Empire, absorbed as a puppet state. Hmm. And this continued until the East Indian Company ruled in India. The empire was formally dissolved by the British Raj after the Indian Rebellion of 1857. The Mongol Empire was created and sustained by military warfare, but also established new administrative practices and incorporated derived ruling elites to produce an efficient, centralized, standardized rule. Arbek the Third Mughal Empire instituted agricultural taxes, which served as the basis of the empire's collective wealth. These taxes amounted to well over half of a peasant culture's output had to be paid in money, and this impelled peasants and artisans to enter market networks so as to obtain it. The relative peace maintained by the empire during such the 17th century was a factor in India's economic expansion. Bulgarian European presence in Indian Ocean and its increasing demand for Indian raw and finished products created still greater wealth in the Mughal courts. There was more conspicuous consumption among the Mughal elite, resulting in greater say, patronage of painting, literary forms, textiles, and agriculture, especially during the reign of Shah Jahan. Among the UNESCO World Heritage Sites in South Asia are Agra Fort, named some other people, Red Fort, Tomb, which is described as a jewel of museum art in India. Jewel of museum art in India. And one of the universal admiral admired, masterpieces of the world's heritage. Okay. Where did I stop? In the early modern period, from the 50% of textiles and 80% of silks were imported, chiefly from its most developed region, known as Bengal Suban. In addition, the company traded with Indianized Southeast Asian countries when the Dutch government granted it a 21-year monopoly on the Dutch spice trade. United East Indian Company, VOC, native name. Okay. Okay. Banda Islands. I put that already, didn't I? Nope. The Dutch having enforced a monopoly on the highly lucrative. Oh shoot! Hold on 1 second, girl. Oh, I ain't finished my coffee. Okay. Sorry, y'all. I'm back. I said, put my feet up. Shit. The Dutch conquest of the abandoned islands was a process of military conquest from 1609 to 1612. I read that. Yeah. The Dutch having enforced a monopoly on the highly lucrative nutmeg production from the island. So they wanted the nutmeg. Okay. Were impatient were impatient with the Bandanese, resisting to Dutch instructions that the Bandanese sell only to them. The Dutch used the death of a Dutch official as a casus belli for forcible conquest of the island. What does that mean? Oh, war. So they made war because they wanted them to only sell to them. That's so. Okay. The island became severely depopulated as a result of the massacres and forced depopulation by the Dutch. Dutch conquest of abandoned islands. I always kind of conquer some shit, but this is April. It's Conquest Aries. I want it all. I want to be seen. I want everything. I want people to praise me and come to me. Attitude, right? They were supported by the Japanese. Okay. Um, so I'm like I've said before, these wars were made. Take over, we know. Now these wars are made to dig out. They're trying to find these countries and these people that disappeared and to study steal from them to figure out what they made now, what they got going on, what else can we steal. That's what I believe these wars have been and will always be because of selfishness, not letting that not letting things be. Okay, if I have something you like, I share with you. No, I want to take all of it. You work for me and you bring it to me and I make the profit and I give you the crumbs. The Dutch East Indian Company, which was founded in 1602 as an amalgamation of 12 VOC, whatever I said, that had expensive financial interests in a modern time Southeast Asia, the source of highly profitable spices, which were in high demand in Europe. A Dutch, a Dutch expedition had already made contact with the island in 1599, signing several contracts with Bandanese chief. The profitability of the spices was heightened by the fact that they grew nowhere else on the earth, making them extremely valuable to whoever controlled them. Ain't that something? Wow. As the Dutch attempted to form a monopoly over the spices, forbid the Bandanese from selling to any other group, they resisted. How you gonna come and take over somebody's shit? But that's what they do. That's what happens. Still happening. Ain't shit changed. Um, yeah, to make them sell only to you, right? So when you resist, of course, they had more weapons, more this, and the Dutch decided to conquer the island by force. With the aid of the Japanese mercenaries, the Dutch launched several military expeditions against the Bandanese. And this happened, they say 1599, but I don't know. The cultivated and vandal massacre, which saw 2,800 Bandinese killed and 1,700 slain by the Dutch. Along with starvation and constant fighting, the Bandinese felt they could not continue to resist the Dutch and negotiated surrender in 1621. Some man named Kohan, official in charge of the fighting, expelled the remaining 1,000 Bandinese to Batavia, Batavia. With the Bandinese resistance ended, the Dutch secured their valuable monopoly on the spice trade. So they banned Batavia was in Dutch East Indies. The city proper or its suburbs and hinterland. So of course they became people slaves. Then they got the coat of arms. Okay. People looking at them funny and different because they're not the same. Blah blah blah. Same shit, different day. Okay. Still trying to find out who these people is and give me these fuckers. Let's see. When I ask who is these people, got Sophia in the name, but they're not giving me who these people are. Okay, let me put Indians. See if that helps. Let me go to DuckDuckGo. DuckDuckGo. And see if they'll give me who they are. They gave me a whole nother name. Am I spelling it right? I ain't spell that name. Yeah, that's it. It says Porridge Band of Greek Indians. Let's see. It is said that centuries ago, our ancestors came from the west, descending from the mountains. The Creator sent down a cedar pole and instructed our people to stand the pole upright and travel in the direction it fell. They followed it for countless days and nights. As each day the pole fell east, finally they reached the coast with an endless ocean before them. They asked the Creator if they were to live here and were told to follow the pole one more day and night. The pole fell to the west, and they followed. At dawn, they discovered a rich, fertile land, steaming with life. The sacred poles stood upright. They had reached their home. The Creek Indians, Creek Indians, along with other southeastern tribes such as the, um, I know I'm not, my mind won't go to this, Choctaws and Cherokees are descendants from the peoples of the Mississippian period, AD 800 to 1500. In the 16th century, the arrival of the European settlers brought epidemics, violence, and unrest to the southeast United States, resulted in a shattering of the region's indigenous people. In the 17th century, these diverse populations joined together and established settlements along the century Chicopee, Chattahoochee River. I know how to say that name. The lower Tulaposa River and the central Kaza River in what is now eastern central Alabama. For the next 2 centuries, these areas were the heart of what became the Creek Nation, and these new towns in Muskogee language of the Creeks became the centers of Creek political and ceremonial life. Early Creek life. The early Creeks had an economic base on farming, hunting, and fishing. Common crops were maize, corn, beans, and squash, and the three sisters, known to flourish in planted in close proximity to each other. The Creeks lived in simple log cabins with earthen floors and stick and mud chimneys, and they used a fireplace or outdoor fire pit for cooking. Somewhat isolated, they were resourceful and self-sufficient, living according to the rhythm of the land. In the late 1700s, the center of the Creek Nation was along the intersection of the Casa and Tillapoosa River, where Montgomery, ancestors of the Porch Porch Creek Indians, lived along the Alabama River, including areas from Wetumpka, Wetumpka south to the TNSAW settlement. In the 1790 Treaty of New York, the Creeks gave the U.S. government permission to use to improve the Indian tribe through Alabama to facilitate American settlement following the Louisiana Purchase. A Pooch Creek ancestor, Sam Monarch, was one of the signers of that treaty. It is a point of pride that years later, his descendants, David Monarch, became the first Native American to graduate from West Point. After the Treaty of New York, the Creeks were allowed to establish businesses along the Indian trails to accommodate travelers across through Indian territory. One of these Indian tribes trails was widened and became a federal road, a major thoroughfare from the migration of settlers. Ancestors of the Pork Creek moved down the Alabama River to meet the man, serving as guides, interpreters, ferrymen, and river pilots for these passing through Creek territory. They also operated inns and raised cattle, acquiring land along the Alabama River from Tensas to Kelleborn and eastward along Little River. The Creek Nation grew steadily over these years and into the early 1900th century. It is established that the population in 1680 was, oh shoot, 9,000, raising to 20,000 during the Revolutionary War and to approximately 2,000 by 1830. Conflict begins. As more and more settlers traveled the federal road, a growing number began stopping within the Creek Nation with the intention of settling on Indian Island. This increased tension not only between the Creeks and the settlers, but also within the tribe itself. The issue was so diverse that even families were sometimes split. While some Creeks chose to adopt the culture of European settlers in order to maintain peace, others armed themselves for resistance. The latter became known as the Red Sticks because they raised the red stick of war. Interesting. Aries color, right? Um, a favorite weapon and symbolic Greek war declaration. In 1813, an attack on peaceful Creek towns prompted the Red Sticks to retaliate, beginning the Creek or Red Stick War. Creeks and settlers alike sought shelter at Fort Menz, about 20 miles west of present-day Porch. However, the Red Sticks were able to breach the fort, and what followed was a fierce battle of which few survived. Though the dispute began as a tribal civil war, it soon transformed into an American war against the Creeks. The U.S. Army and the various state militaries joined the battle against the Red Sticks as an opportunity to eradicate Creek power. The strategy was successful. The final battle at Horseshoe Bend resulted in a total defeat of the Creek Nation. Did I put that? Substantially, General Andrew Jackson forced the surveying Creeks to sign a treaty Fort Jackson in 1814, ceding much of their ancestral homelands to the U.S. government. That is stealing, motherfucker. Oh, God damn, when is enough for y'all? The Trial of Tears. Unfortunately, the Treaty of Fort Jackson was only the beginning of the devastation to come, not just for the Creeks, but for all southeastern Indian tribes. Gold had been discovered in Georgia, and the Creeks had developed and cultivated rich agricultural farmlands in Alabama. In response, Congress passed the Indian Removal Act. See, that's why they took the South because of all of this here and the gold and all the stuff. The Confederate um, and changed it to like it's Caucasian and made people scared to go there. And shattering assault on human rights. The Indian removal came to be known as the Trial of Tears. Did I already put that? No remorse because of the destruction and human suffering it caused. With the promise of unsettled land elsewhere, the tribes were forcibly marched more than 1,000 miles west across 9 states to live in what would become Oklahoma. Okay. Those who resisted removal were forced out at gunpoint with no time to collect their belongings, their homes looted by white settlers as they left. Of the 22,000 Creek Indians who set out on the Trail of Tears, only half actually made it to Oklahoma. Creek tribal chief Sam Monarch was among the approximately 4,000 who died on the trail due to exposure, starvation, and disease. The policy, see, that's why can't always turn the other cheek. The policy of Indian removal, because some people are not human. Some things are not real. They're not human. They're beast. The policy of Indian removal was contra- controversial then and now. It was met with strong opposition and bitter debate at the time of the law's passage, and modern day critics have referred to it as ethnic cleansing. Ethnic cleansing, check that out. And genocide. So what they tell you, ethnic cleansing. Ethnic is what? A different color than one. Somebody lied to them and told them that their color was better than another color. And we still got the same shit today. In 1987, Congress des- designated the Trial of Tears as National Historic Trial to acknowledge and pay tribute to those who suffered and died there. Never gave them their land back. As the blood runs through your veins, it also runs through the ones that were on the trail of tears. So if you are Indian, you are part of my people. Chief Kelvin McKee, the Polar Creek's emirate. Despite the removal efforts, several Creek families in the Tenshaw community were able to escape explosion during the Trial of Tears. Those who had been loyal to the U.S. government or had worked as scouts and traders were allowed to remain and were awarded land grants. Awarded land on their own motherfucking land. Ain't that something? Woo, they some cold. They some cold people, boy. William Weatherford Red Eagle, who played a prominent role in the Creek War. Hmm. That's why I say people can't take over another culture unless somebody in that culture is a snitch. Was among those who stayed. Another who remained was Lynn McGee. Because the government had sold his original homestead, McGee was granted new parcels of land in Escambia County, Alabama, an act that would provide providential to our current day tribe. Those allowed to retain their original land included the families of Monarch, Hollinger, Bailey's, Colbert. That's my family's name. I know. Yeah, they confederate. They family Confederate and Smith. Okay. Yeah, the Colberts sure is. That's my sister and last name. And man, were they kin to the Confederate. By 1836, the Tenshaw settlement was well populated. However, the timber companies had purchased large tracts of land, which left little available for little grants. As a those families receiving grants at the time moved inland away from the river into the Portland area near the head of Purdy and Hawkford in order to find sufficient tracts of land separate from the west of creeks. These Indian families worked and lived alongside each other and over time became a distinct tribe unto themselves, the Poarch Creek Indians. Empowerment. In years following the Indian removal, Poarch Creek ancestors endured several hardships and discrimination and struggled to provide for their families. Same story, different day. And we got the Plains Indians. Pretty sure it's the same story. Native Americans, United States. Cherokee. Can't beat them, join them. That's what it said right now in my head. So Then they had the $5 Indians. Okay, they sold to the Caucasians, and they took over. They married or took for marriage, and they breeded their children so it could look like that they were the people of that land, and and having the right to be there. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Now I want to get to Tame right quick before I go to 4. Now I was looking at Lilith, okay, and Cain, by her being the first wife of Adam, right? So let's see what I found. It says the blacksmith's daughter. Now this is I think came on TV. Lilith a rivalry. Okay, let's gonna have to go back to Cain. Uh, let me read. Actually, read the Bible right quick. Let's see. Uh, ooh, excuse me, yeah. And where is it in Genesis? Okay. Ooh, okay, bless me again. Okay. Oh man, Cain and Abel. Okay, this and now Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bore Cain, and said, I have acquired a man from the Lord. Then she bore again, this time his brother Abel. Now Abel was a keeper of the sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. Okay. In and in the process of time it came to pass that Cain brought an offering of the fruit of the ground to the Lord. Abel also brought of the firstborn of his flock and of their fat. And the Lord respected Abel and his offering, but he did not respect Cain and his offering. And Cain was very angry, and his countenance fell. So they don't tell us why he didn't accept it. They just say he didn't accept it. So everybody's assuming that's why it had Apocrypha going to come into play. That Cain did not give him the best of his fruits, of vegetables, whatever he had. So we don't know. It's not telling us here. So the Lord said to Cain, why are you angry, and why has your countenance fallen? If you do well, will you not be accepted? So okay, so if you do well, maybe he didn't give him. Okay, it does says it. That's what he's saying. And we interpret it as he didn't bring the creator the best. And if you do not do well, sin lies at the door, and its desire is for you, but you should rule over it. Now Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and killed him. Then the Lord said to Cain, "Where is Abel your brother?" He said, "I do not know. Am I my brother's keeper?" And he said, "What have you done? The voice of your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground." Okay, so till the ground, blood from the ground, blood from the ground, right? Abel. So now he's a servant to his brother, right? Because he has to till the ground. The voice of your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground. So now you are cursed from the earth, which has opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from the land. When you till the ground, it shall no longer yield its strength to you. Wow. So what? It can't grow, nothing to grow. A fugitive and a vagabond. So that's why you gotta be careful when you mess with homeless. Y'all don't know their history. A fugitive and a vagabond shall you be on the earth. And Cain said to the Lord, "My punishment is greater than I can bear." Okay, so he can't till the ground anymore. Okay, okay. So fugitive and vagabond. Surely you have driven me out this day from the face of the ground. I should be hidden from your face. I should be a fugitive and vagabond on the earth, and it will happen that anyone who finds me will kill me. And the Lord said to him, "Therefore, whoever kills Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold." And the Lord set a mark on Cain, lest anyone finding him should kill him. Now they say the mark was skin color. He took the pigment out, making him whiter skin. That's what they said. I don't know. I'm still okay. We just writing it down what I found out. Then Cain went, and I see the homeless can't be messing with it. Can't kill them. People might go homeless. They might have that in their bloodline. Then Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod, on the east of Eden. And Cain knew his wife, so they say he bought his sister, his wife, because they said they had let's see, Cain Adam and Eve had what I put it at, like 22 boys or 23 boys and 23 girls. Where I put it at. Okay. Somewhere. Let me see. I know I wrote it. Yeah. Oh, 33 sons and 23 daughters Adam and Eve had, right? Okay. So he took one of his sisters, they say. But I don't, and then I look at Lilith. When I get to Lilith, they said that she had children. They said she was having children in a cave when they found her. Okay. So we'll go back because it's a book of Adam and Eve as well. Okay, let's see. Um, and the Lord said to him, "Therefore, whoever kisses him." And then Cain went out of the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod, east of Eden. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bore Enoch. So Enoch. And he built a city and called the name of the city after the name of his son. And to Enoch first son of Cain he bore Arad, and Arad bore Mehujael, and Major he bore Methushaei, and then he bore Malich. Let me see, H. Okay, then Malich took for himself two wives. The name of one was Adha, and the name of the second was Zulal. And Adha bore Jabal, and he was the father of those who dwell in tents and have livestock. So Jabal, father of those who dwell in tents and have livestock. So he did he bred he okay, so he cursed Cain, but evidently he didn't curse his kids because they went back to animals. So is that the farmers? Well, he didn't actually plant anything. So Cain can't plant anything. So the descendants of Cain cannot plant anything, but they can take care of animals. Okay, that's what I'm seeing. His brother name was Jubal. He was the father of all those who play the harp and the flute. So they played the harp and flute. So they did music, livestock and music. And as for Zilhar, she also bore Tubal-Cain. Now here, Tubal-Cain comes along. Okay, don't take my memory from me. And instructor of every craftsman. Okay, craftsman. So here's where in bronze, here's where the and iron, the blacksmith come from. Okay. And his sister Tubal-Cain was Nah. And Lamech said to his wife, blah, 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 blah. I have killed a man from wounding me, every man, young man from hurting me, blah, blah. And Adam went to his wife again and bore his son, named him Seth. Okay. So, what I'm trying to say. I'm going to read what I have over here. Wait a minute. Okay, now we go back to Lilith for a minute. Okay, where did I put that? Okay, we're going to read. Hold on, my daughter asked me something. I'm sorry. Part of two. Okay. Okay. Um, bear with me, yeah. Let me see that I put it on here. Oh man, come on. Oh, okay. I think it. Okay, so we know Cain descendants became a blacksmith. Okay. Um, trying to find this. I hate when I try to look at where it went on my phone. Let me see if I can ask the question and put it up. Lilith and Cain.
According to Google Books, the enduring question has been, where did Cain get his wife? The churches have not given an acceptable answer to this question.
Okay, it says Cain's wife was Lilith's daughter. I thought so. Where did Cain get his wife? Who is Lilith to Cain? Not only was Lilith removed from the Bible, but she was demonized. The facts remain that she had existed, and she did have children that were mentioned throughout the ancient literature. At least one of her daughters was called Lilith. Lilith became Cain's wife. Okay. Um, Endurance questions has been where did Cain get his wife? The churches have not given an acceptable answer to the question. Their inability to answer this question creates great doubt as to the accuracy of the Bible. More and more Christians are giving up on defending the Bible. It's vitally important for Christians to be able to answer this question because it relates to defending the fact that all humans are descendants of Adam and Eve, and only their descendants can be saved. Cain's wife has been talked about in countries all over the world for hundreds of years. Skeptics of the Bible have used Cain's wife time and time again to try to discredit the book of Genesis as true historical record. The story of Cain's wife is the initial attempt to reconcile the Bible with the undisputable scientific evidence for creative evolution. I've combined four sets of information: the current Bible, the old Bible before the major changes in late BC and early AD, other ancient literature, and the scientific facts of creation and evolution. I tried to clarify why the Bible gives two accounts of the creation of Adam and Eve. The Bible actually described the creation of two women for him. The first was Lilith, in verse 1, verse 27, but her name was removed from the current Bible. However, her name can be seen in the older version of the Bible that existed before the latter day changes were made. Eve, Adam's second mate, was created from Adam's rib, and her creation is described in Genesis 2:18. Lilith has been systematically removed from the Bible except for one of reference in Isaiah 34:14. Not only was Lilith removed from the Bible, but she was demonized. The facts remain that she did exist and she did have children that are mentioned throughout the ancient literature. At least one of her daughters was called Lilim, Lilim, became Cain's wife. Okay. Something else I was going to add, Max. Oh, yeah. In the book of Adam and Eve, who were the people that were living in the land? Ask the priest, where did these people in Genesis 4 come from? Who were the two people in the Garden of Eden? Who is the first man in the world? The green-skinned pair who were descendant. Wait a minute, hold on. What's up? Adam and Eve, according to creation mythology of Arabic regions, were the first man and woman. They are central to the belief that humanity is in its essence in a single family, with everyone descended from a single pair of original ancestors. They also provide the basis of doctrines of the fall of man and original sin that are important beliefs in Christianity, although not held in Judaism or Islam. In the book of Genesis of Hebrew Bible, characters 1 through 5, there are two creation natives with two distinct perspectives. In the first, Adam and Eve are not named. Instead, God created humankind in God's image and instructed them to multiply to be uh, stewards over everything else that God had made. And in the second narrative, God fashioned Adam from dust and places him in the Garden of Eden. Adam is told that he can eat freely of all the trees of the garden except for the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Sequentially, Eve is created from one of the Adam's rib to be his companion. They are innocent and unembarrassed about their nakedness. However, a serpent convinces Eve to eat fruit from the forbidden tree, and she gives him some of the fruit to Adam. These acts not only give them additional knowledge, but it gives them the ability to conquer negative and destructive concepts as a shame and evil. God later curses the serpent and the ground. So why did he curse the ground? I thought he cursed the serpent to the ground, right? I remember my older lady asked me that, and ground curse. She asked me that. She said, um, she told me, she said the earth, the ground is cursed too. And I was telling her, I think I read out the Bible, it says, now he cursed, he made the snake crawl on the ground and punished him to crawl on the ground. Okay, now here they mention that again. Um, let's see. Go back to the Bible right quick. Okay. Um, so I'm trying to see why would he curse the ground? The ground didn't have nothing to do with anything. That's like Mother Earth. Okay. And God said, let us make man in our image according to our likeness. Let them have dominion over the sea of the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, over the cattle, over all the earth, and every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth. And God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. And God blessed them, and God said to them, be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it. Have dominion over the fish in the sea, over the birds of the air, and over every living thing that moves on the earth. And God said, see, I have given you every herb that yields seed, which is on the face of all the earth, and every tree whose fruit yields seed, to you it shall be for food. Also to every beast of the earth, to bring bird to the air, and to everything that creepers on the earth, in which there is life. I have given every green herb for food. And it was so. Then God saw everything that he had made, and indeed it was very good. So the evening and the morning were the sixth day. Okay. The fall of man. And the Lord planted a garden in eastern Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed. And out of the ground the Lord God made every green grow that is pleasant to the sight and good for food. The tree of life was also of the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Now the river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from there it parted and became four river heads. The name of the first is Pishon. It is the one which skirts the whole land of Havilah, and there is gold, and the gold of that land is good. Bdellion and the oxen stone are there, and the name of the second river is Gihon. It is the one which goes around the whole land of Cush. The name of the third river is Hiddekite, Hiddekel. It is one which goes toward the east of Ezrael. The fourth river is Euphrates. Then the Lord God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to tend and to keep it. And the Lord God commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden you may freely eat. So he made them to work. But the tree of knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat, for in that day you eat it, you shall surely die. And God said, it is not good that man should be alone. I will make him a helper compatible to him. So he made man to work. Now he made the woman. Out of the ground of the Lord, God formed every beast of the field, blah, 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 blah. And whatever Adam called each animal, living creature, that was his name. Adam gave names, blah, 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 blah. And the Lord caused a deep sleep to fall on Adam, and he wept, blah, blah, blah. Therefore, man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. And they were both naked. Now the serpent was more cunning, I got Scorpio, than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said to the woman, has God indeed said, you shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said to the serpent, we may eat of the true fruit of the trees of the garden, but the fruit of the good and evil, blah, blah. You should not surely die. Then the serpent said to the woman, you shall not surely die, for God knows that in the day you eat of it, your eyes shall be open, and you shall be like God, knowing good and evil. So when the woman saw that a tree was good for food, that it was pleasant to the eyes, and the trees desirable to make one wise, she took of the fruit and ate. Then the eyes of both of them were opened, and they knew that they were naked, and they heard the sound of the Lord walking in the garden. The Lord called upon Adam and Eve, where are you? And he said, here I am, blah, blah, blah. Your voice. Who told you that you were naked? Then the man said, the woman beguiled me, of course. And the Lord said to Adam, what is you to have done? The serpent, and she blamed the serpent. The serpent beguiled me. And the Lord said to the serpent, because you have done this, you are cursed more than all cattle, and more than every beast of the field. On your belly shall you go, and you shall eat dust all the days of your life. And I will put enmity between the woman, and you and the woman, and between your seed and her seed. See what I'm saying? It did not say that he cursed the ground too. He said that he would make him eat dust. So that means he would slither on the ground. Right. So that's Genesis chapter 3, verse 14 and 15. Yeah. And make him and the woman, between you and the woman, and between your seed and her seed. Now, I'm trying to find what I found because they said the serpent was Lilith, and she was trying to warn Adam and Eve. She was trying to warn Eve. Where is that part, man? My daughter's on the way. I'm gonna have to come back and finish that part. Let's see. She was trying. If I could find it right quick. Let's see. Um, let's see. Can I find it? Yeah, she was trying to help Eve not just be a baby maker. Um, I don't know. I'm gonna find it and have to come back because I didn't want this to be that long. But anyway, I'm gonna be back, y'all. I gotta get prepared for something right quick. But we're gonna finish on the Lilith being the serpent. Okay. All right. Like, subscribe, share, and comment. Okay, y'all. Love y'all. I'll be right back. I will not right back, but I'll be back to finish part 5. This 4 thing.